Okay, so today we're going to look at the strengths and weaknesses of the adversary system. So we're going to look at the same five features of the adversary system we looked at last time. Look at the strengths and weaknesses of the role of the parties, the role of the judge, the burden and standard of proof, the rules of evidence and procedure, and the need for legal representation. So you need to be able to know strengths and weaknesses of all five features. You should be able to evaluate the features individually, and you should also be able to evaluate the adversary system as a whole. And also for this part of the study design, you need to be able to think about how the adversary system contributes to the effectiveness of the legal system. So how does it contribute to fair and unbiased hearing? How does it contribute to timely resolution? And how does it contribute to effective access? So firstly, the role of the judge. A key advantage of the role of the judge is that the judge is impartial in the adversary system. So their job is to make sure that the parties are treated fairly, and that creates more confidence in the legal system because they're independent of the parties, they're independent of the prosecution in a criminal case, and they're independent of the parties in a civil case. So they should ensure that the parties get a fair hearing, and that therefore the truth should emerge. Disadvantages to the role of the judge really though is in the adversary system they can't offer the parties assistance. So that means that their experience and their knowledge of the law is underutilized in the adversary system, and it can lead to an unfair result if one party is poorly represented because the judge can't assist them in any way. In terms of legal representation in the adversary system, the advantage of legal representation is that, firstly, each party has the right to choose their legal representation, so they can choose someone who they feel will present their case in the best possible light. They're able to choose somebody who best meets their needs in terms of financial cost, but also who's going to present their case to give them the best chance of winning. Disadvantage in the adversary system is that legal representation is very costly, and that does reduce access, particularly if one party is not able to afford legal representation. And in the adversary system, we know that both sides need to be equally represented for the adversary system to be effective. So if one party can afford a better lawyer, then that may lead to an unfair outcome. If one side has an inferior legal representation, that can lead to an unfair hearing for them. In terms of the role of the parties, the key advantage of the parties in the adversary system is that they have control of their own case. We looked at party control last time, so they're able to engage legal representation to present their case in the best possible light. They're able to decide what facts are brought before the court, which witnesses to call and question, and that creates confidence because the parties know that in the end they have control of their case. They don't have decisions imposed on them by a third party or by the state. The disadvantage of party control is that it can lead to further animosity because the parties are battling to win the case between themselves, particularly in civil matters. It increases costs because both parties are going to try to pay for the best lawyer possible to give themselves the best chance of winning. And it can also increase delays, which can increase the stress involved, and it can further increase the cost. So that reduces timely resolution, and it can reduce effective access as well. In terms of burden and standard of proof, a key advantage of the burden and standard of proof is that the party that brings the case in the adversary system have to prove the facts to the required standard of proof. So they have to prove the case beyond all reasonable doubt in criminal or on the balance of probabilities. However, the disadvantage of the burden and standard of proof in the adversary system is that the adversary system really is more concerned with winning rather than finding out the truth. So each side really just brings out the facts to benefit their side, but there's no real guarantee that all of the evidence will be presented and that the truth will definitely emerge. Finally, the rules of evidence and procedure in the adversary system, their big advantage really is that they're there to ensure a fair and unbiased hearing, that both parties have an equal chance to present their case. So oral evidence helps reveal if witnesses are sincere, and the examination and cross-examination allows both parties to present their case, to call the witnesses that they want, and also to test the evidence of the other party through cross-examination. And all parties are treated equally in the adversary system. They both have an equal chance to present their case, to make opening statements, to make closing statements, to call and question their witnesses. And also some types of evidence are not permitted, so illegally obtained evidence, opinion or hearsay are not allowed in the adversary system. The disadvantages, though, of the rules of evidence and procedure is that they're intimidating. So witnesses can be intimidated and say something misleading. That could lead to an unfair hearing. Also, parties could be deterred from pursuing their case, which would reduce effective access. And witnesses in the adversary system can only respond to specific questions, so they can't just tell their own story. It's up to the parties to question them, and then they can only respond to them. And oral evidence in the adversary system relies on the memory of witnesses. So if there are delays involved, then that can be an issue as witnesses may not be as reliable. Expert evidence can carry too much weight in the adversary system. Sometimes vital evidence can be inadmissible, so the truth may not come out. And that's it.